So here we are on the eve of the most consequential election in my lifetime, probably your lifetime as well. The other day, I penned an opinion piece that I was able to get placed in the Jersey Journal. It's a paper that I have a relationship with over the years from my days of writing a pro black teen column called Our Pride and Joy, where I focused on resilient children, resilient teenagers, to counter the narrative that all teens are up to no good. And I enjoy this relationship with this paper, and I'm so grateful I was able to get a piece in. It went on the NJ.com website, and the piece was entitled Why I'm Voting as If My Life Depends on It. And I've been getting pretty good feedback about it, and I just wanted to take the opportunity to share it with you here on YouTube. As I said, it was written in the Jersey Journal. I was a guest columnist and it was able to run there, but let me share it with you. And it really says how I feel about this time, this moment in history that we're in. I feel very encouraged by all the voting that's going on around our country. We know that voter suppression is at full tilt, that nothing concedes power without a struggle. And we know we're in the struggle of our lives right now to exercise our constitutionally given rights to vote. We see it happening. We see voter intimidation happening. And so I just want to share this and encourage us to press on, to turn out to vote, not just you, but turn out your family, your friends, your neighbors, people in your parishes, your synagogues, your churches, your social clubs, your gang that you hang out with. This is the time to make a stand against tyranny, against hate, against the grift and corruption, against the constant chaos fomented by the current Trump administration. So here's the piece I wrote. I hope you enjoy it. Why I'm voting as if my life depends on it. As Americans, we have the right to protest, openly and nonviolently. This is guaranteed in the First Amendment of the Constitution. Quote, the right of the people, peaceably to assemble, and to petition the government for a redress of grievances, unquote. I joined in the Black Lives Matters protests, BLM, and for the record, it is a nonviolent, multiracial movement to end police brutality. The response to my activism by the majority of my neighbors has been indifference. Others were supportive, and on several occasions, I was the target of angry white men. One white man, having heard me say Black Lives Matter, on a drive in my hometown, called me the N-word, and my wife, a white woman, a N-word lover. He flipped me the middle finger and called me the F-word too. Another angry white man who saw a BLM sign on my car while driving south on the New Jersey Turnpike pulled up dangerously close to my car to shout obscenities at me. He shouted the usual barrage of the N-word, F-word, and the middle finger waving. He careened in front of, behind, and alongside of my car from exit 13 until he departed the New Jersey Turnpike at exit 11. It was a frightening encounter. Can't we all get along, agree to disagree? To do otherwise is un-American. I support common sense, science-based public health measures to reverse the rise of the novel coronavirus. I believe the experts. I wear a mask, wash my hands, and social distance. I do those things for me, but more importantly, I do them for my neighbors. I respect the sacrifice of all the essential and frontline workers battling this pandemic. To do otherwise is un-American. I live with cancer and other health challenges. When the Affordable Care Act was passed, I was grateful for the protection of my health care because of my pre-existing condition. I did not see reduction in the cost of my health care costs, but I was supportive of the Medicaid mandate because far too many of my fellow citizens weren't as privileged as I was, and they deserved health care, especially senior citizens, the poor, and children, the overwhelming majority of people receiving Medicaid. Our healthcare system still needs to be improved, but we made a social contract with one another. Workers help pay for the retired, the healthy help the sick, and the well off help the less well off. To do otherwise is un American. I am a lesbian. My partner and I have been together for 28 years. She was formerly married to a man and they had 2 children. We have 2 amazing grandsons. We are a blended American family. In 2013, our domestic partnership turned civil union was granted marriage status when gay marriage became the law of the land. We secured greater equality when we won the more than 1,100 federal rights previously denied us when our love was relegated to second-class status. The Supreme Court and GOP administration threatened to take our rights away. These rights must be protected. To do otherwise is un American. We have become divided into red states and blue states, where even federal help for disasters are awarded to those states deemed loyal to the incumbent. We've become divided along racial lines, even though whites and blacks in the same class are not faring well from the siphoning of taxpayer dollars towards the wealthy and the military. We've become divided into friends and foes. The levels of incivility are at dangerous levels. For the first time ever, there are more guns in America than people, a testimony to the degree of fear stoked by the current administration and its white supremacist allies. It has become difficult to distinguish between truth and lies, facts and well-timed and orchestrated conspiracy theories in the media and on social media platforms. We deserve the truth from our elected leaders. To do otherwise is un American. There is active sabotage to deny the right to vote to American citizens deemed not supporters of the Trump administration, voters in urban and low-income communities, students, formerly incarcerated people, and transient and immigrants. It is shameful to make voting harder and less safe during a global pandemic. Voting is the cornerstone of our democratic society. Voting should be universal and easy in America. Laws should be passed to strengthen voting. To do otherwise is un American. The current administration has destabilized virtually every sector of American life with its targeted reversal of well-established policies and assaults on government institutions. I see it in national security, in public health, in public safety, in healthcare, in disaster responses, in education, in housing, in the economy, in the environment, and in rushing through a Supreme Court justice while people are actively voting in a national election. Grift and corruption have become normalized, while the hard work of career public servants in government have been vilified and nullified. Who have we become? What have we become? I believe in the American ideal of an open, multiracial society, a society that affords equal rights and protections to all citizens, a society where people are free to practice their religion, whatever that might be, where kindness, tolerance, and respect are promoted, where truth matters, and where individual freedom is balanced with collective responsibility. This election on Tuesday, November 3rd, is a referendum on America. Millions have already voted, sensing the fierce urgency of now. I'm voting blue for change. I'm voting as if my life depends on it, because for this Black, lesbian, disabled American living on a fixed income, it does. Get out to vote, y'all. Let's bring in peace. Let's bring in more tolerance. Let's bring in an administration that's going to look out for us. It's going to stand up for us. Get out to vote. The time is now. Peace.